Good morning, welcome back to my channel, Whatjueloves. Nice to see you again, hope you're all really well. Thank you so much for all the follows. I've had sort of double the views on the last video than I've had on any of them, so that's great, thank you very much. And my subscribers are sort of gradually creeping up, so that's lovely, thank you. If you're new, I hope you'll stick around. I think I've got 3 other videos you can go and watch, so yeah, welcome back. So this morning I thought we would talk about Kindle Unlimited. I am a member of Kindle Unlimited. This is not an advertisement, it's something that I genuinely use and pay for with my own money. It cost me £9.49 a month, and for me, somebody who reads constantly, it's well worth it, in my opinion. You can have 20 books at any one time on Kindle Unlimited. If you sort of try and pick a 21st, it'll ask you to return one of the books you've already read. So I guess it's like a little holding library really of the books that you want to read. And then the good thing I think is that if you start to read something and think, this is not for me, not what I thought it was, it's very easy to return it. You're not paying any more than the £9.49 you were paying. And you know, if I read 5 books, 6 books, 10 books on Kindle Unlimited, then what would I pay? Say you average £7 a book, that's £70. And I can easily get through 10 Kindle books in a month. And, you know, it would cost me a lot more than that. So to me, it's worth it. If you remember from my last video, I talked about the Jessica Gray detective series. She's a private investigator. And that was the last book I read on Kindle Unlimited. That was called Thin Air. She's called Jessica Shaw, the detective, and the writer is Lisa Gray. So I've just added the second book because I enjoyed the first book. I really wanted to know a little bit more about her and the characters in the book. I thought the story was good. It was a good conclusion. My kind of investigative book. So I've recently added the second book by Lisa Gray, and it's called Bad Memory, Jessica Shaw. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about that one and why I picked it. So it would have cost me paperback £8.99 on Prime. Quite often as well, included with the book that you get is the Audible, which I think is really quite cool. You know, because sometimes you don't have time to sit and you want something on in the car, or you want something while you're pottering about in the house, so I find it quite useful. So this one called Bad Memory. Let me just read you what the blurb says. It says, private investigator Jessica Shaw is leading a quiet life in a Californian desert community where she spends her days working low-level cases. But when a former resident asked Jessica to help her sister, Rue Hunter, a convicted murderer whose execution is days away, she can't resist the offer. Rue doesn't remember what happened the night 2 high school students were killed 30 years ago, but everybody in town is certain she's guilty. As Jessica looks for answers, she finds that local rumours point one way and evidence points another way, and nobody wants to face the truth. Meanwhile, Jessica can't shake the feeling that someone is stalking her. Now more than ever, she knows she can't trust anyone. So it's obviously Jessica Shaw investigating a murder 30 years ago. The first book was about a cold case as well, so that it's quite interesting that they both are. And I don't mind cold cases. I quite like a new take on a book, on a mystery, you know, 20 years in the future or 30 years in the future. So that one is my next read on Kindle Unlimited. And I thought what I'd do is show you some of the books that I've got on there waiting to be read. I thought it might be quite interesting. So I've got my laptop here. If I'm leaning that way, it's because I'm reading from my laptop. So next up, I don't know whether you're watching The Other Bennett Sister on, I think it's BBC. Janice Hollow is the author of The Other Bennett Sister. Now, I love anything to do with Jane Austen. I love Pride and Prejudice. I've read all the books, and yeah, both myself and my daughter love that genre and that historical period. And so we were really interested to see this. I've watched the first 4 episodes, but I haven't read the book. So I thought what I would do is, they've done a Netflix thing where they split the drama into 2 halves and put the other half on. I think it's the end of March you get the other 4 episodes. But my daughter Samantha said, have you read the book? And I didn't realise I hadn't read the book. So I've got that on my Kindle Unlimited. So if you're a fan of Bridgerton or anything like that, you will like this. It'll be up your street. So let me just read a little bit about what it says. It says, The Other Bennett Sister, the perfect Regency novel for fans of Bridgerton and Jane Austen. As seen on BBC One, starring Richard E. Grant, Ruth Jones and Ella Broccoli. One by one, the Bennett sisters have found their place, but what happens to the one left behind? The Other Bennett Sister is a brilliant, witty and heartbreakingly relatable story of Mary Bennett. In Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, we know the fates of the 5 Bennett sisters, but while our sisters are celebrated for their beauty and their wit, Mary's the plain middle sister, the introvert of the family, in a family of extroverts, and a constant disappointment to her mother. It's a new take on that other sister, the middle sister, the one who's considered to be plain and not considered to be have marriage prospects. And I really enjoyed the series. I'm desperate to see the other half, and I thought I would enjoy reading the book. So that's also on my Kindle Unlimited. So that's that one. Next, I'm a bit late to the party on this one. I'm sure lots of you have read it, but I've had The Housemaid on my to be read list for ages. Frida McFadden. Now, I don't know what's put me off this. I don't know whether it's the cover on the front of the book or what, but I've kept thinking I should really get that and read it. Anyway, I was talking to a friend the other day and she said, have you read it? And there's all the books in the series, isn't there? And I said, no, I don't fancy it really. And she said, oh, it's really, really good. You'll like it. Just try it. So this is a good way for me to try books that I'm not quite sure about, rather than going out and spending, I don't know, £10 in Waterstones or whatever. So I got The Housemaid. Let me read you a little bit of the blurb. So, welcome to the family, Nina Winchester says, as I shake her elegant manicured hand. I smile politely, gazing around the marble hallway. Working here is my last chance to start fresh. I can pretend to be whoever I like, but I'll soon learn that the Winchester secrets are far more dangerous than my own. I think the reason I've been put off reading this is because I don't like books where children are in jeopardy. And I think in the back of my mind, I thought that there was going to be jeopardy with the child. I was thinking like the Bad Nanny kind of vibe, but I don't think it is that. I think it's about the secrets of the family and the secrets of the housemaid. And so I think I'm going to quite like it. So anyway, I've got it on my Kindle. So that's the next one after that. Okay, moving on. I've got a book by Colin Hoover. Now, I've read Colin Hoover books before, and I think my sister-in-law mentioned it to me when I was in Australia, and she was an author I'd kind of forgotten about. And I thought, oh, yeah, I'll investigate that a little bit more. And I found this one and really liked the look of it. So this is on my Kindle Unlimited. Let me read it to you. It's called Reminders of Him. All these books, I will pop a picture on the screen so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this one says, a troubled young mother yearns for a shot of redemption in this heartbreaking yet hopeful story from New York Times bestselling author Colin Hoover. After serving 5 years in prison for a tragic mistake, Kenna Rowan returns to the town where it all went wrong, hoping to reunite with her 4-year-old daughter. But the bridges Kenna burned are proven impossible to rebuild. Everyone in her daughter's life is determined to shut Kenna out, no matter how hard she works to prove herself. The only person who hasn't closed the door on her completely is Ledger Ward, a local bar owner and one of the few remaining links to Kenna's daughter. But if anyone were to discover how Ledger is slowly becoming an important part of Kenna's life, both would risk losing the trust of everyone important to them. So I thought that sounded quite interesting. So that's the next book on my Kindle Unlimited list. I think we've got a couple more. I've got 2 more to talk about. So the next one is, the other thing to say about these as well is I do often find book ones of series that I'm not aware of, don't know the author. And I find if I read the book one, then it sets me off on reading all the series. So it's quite useful for that as well. So this one is called Divided House. It says the Dark Yorkshire Crime Thrillers Book 1, and it's by J.M. Dalgleish. Now I know he's a famous author, but I can't think of anything I've read by him. So the premise is D.I. Nathaniel Caslin's life is a mess. He works the minimum, abuses substances to survive the day and drinks his nights away. A once promising career in free fall. Investigating the death of an ex-serviceman in police custody reveals the disappearance of a young family. No one noticed and no one seems to care. In the grip of a bitter Yorkshire winter, which is a tick in my box because I love a good winter book. A family home reluctantly offers up its grisly secrets. Out on the moors, a murder scene of horrific brutality demands Caslin's focused attention. In the search for answers, is anyone who they claim to be? Haunted by the ghosts of the past, Caslin is pushed to his limits. Will this case break him or be his path to redemption? So I thought that sounded really quite interesting. I've not come across this series before. Let me know if you've read it or any of the books I'm talking about. Leave me a comment. Anything you've read on Kindle Unlimited that you can recommend as well. I've got a long to be read list, and every time I put a video out I get some more suggestions. I've got a big pile of actual books to read, and then I've got all my Kindle Unlimited ones. So yeah, I'm not short of reading material, so I thought that one sounded good. Okay, last but not least on my Kindle Unlimited at the moment is Death on Skye by Aline Templeton. So I do love a murder mystery, either in a village or on an island, you know, set in a small area. I find them quite focused is the word I'm looking for. So that, you know, you get to know the characters and you know that those characters are going to continue throughout the book rather than moving from one place to another. I do like a good focused mystery murder. So it says Death on Skye, an absolutely gripping and unpottable down Scottish crime mystery. I do like a Scottish book as well. I love a Scottish book. And we do watch a YouTube called Living the Sky Life. I don't know that any of you watch it, but Dave and I really enjoy it. The scenery is breathtaking. So it says the Isle of Skye is a place where the air feels thick with silence, the inhabitants keep their distance, and the cold draughty lodge across the bay is steeped in secrecy. Every glance lingers, every word measured. On this island, nothing is as it seems. Detective Kelso Strang hasn't been sent to Skye to solve a case. He's been sent there to disappear. Still reeling from the sudden death of his wife, Strang is a man on the edge and his behaviour is worrying the team. When reports reach head office that a young woman has vanished from a remote lodge, Superintendent Jane Borthwick seizes the opportunity to get Strang out of Edinburgh and sends him to investigate. So I thought that sounded really, really good. And it's book one, so you know, I haven't investigated yet, but I'm hoping there's book 2, book 3, etc. That sounded right up my street as well. So those are the books that I've got on my Kindle Unlimited. If you've not thought about Kindle Unlimited and you are an avid reader and you've got a Kindle, then definitely check it out. I don't know whether they do special offers on Kindle Unlimited occasionally, but I just pay a monthly fee, and as I said, it's £9.49, but it works really well for me. So I hope you've enjoyed me sharing my Kindle Unlimited books. Those are the ones I've got, because I tend to have a book on the go on Kindle Unlimited. Then I have a book on the go, as you can see. I've got Death at the White Hart on my bedside cabinet because I'm reading that at the moment. And then we're listening to Ellie Griffiths, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's her new book series about time travel. So we're listening to that. So I've got 3 books on the go at the moment, which is quite normal for me, to be honest. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.